Well, good morning. I just got back from work. I worked a total of less than 3 hours. So, zero money made today. But I had something really serious I wanted to talk about. Not like scary serious, but like a serious idea. That I feel like I've buried it down a little bit, and I never looked back at it and just thought about it. Like this, what had happened in my life. And so what I wanted to talk about today is people in your life, in your circle, people who you want to be around versus people who want to be around you, right? And how that's not always the same thing. And this is a really simple concept, like people understand that, but it has a lot of depth to it. And I want to kind of get into that a little bit. All right. So what made me think about this is my voicemail box has been full, right? It's just completely filled up. And I was like, all right, how do I go through these? Should I just delete everything? Like there's some memories in here. Like I have voicemails in here from 2019, right? From 6 years ago, or more than 6 years ago now. And so I was like looking back at some of these earlier first messages, and I just remembered like there was a lot of people. I was popular back then, right? I had so many friends. I was kind of like the most energetic person at school, and I was just like kind of trying to make everybody laugh, right? I was always making jokes no matter the scenario, even making my teachers laugh. That was my goal, right, at school. And so all these people had wanted to be around me. And, time changed, right? And being funny wasn't what mattered, right? And I grew up and I had a lot of things that changed me, who I was, right? And a lot of trust issues. And so it's like now, I have a lot of things to worry about, and I'm not as open with people. I'm not just going to let anybody be my friend, right? I have to know that I can trust you before I'm going to let you be my friend, and before I'm going to be totally vulnerable with you, right? And so back then there was all these people who wanted to be around me and they wanted to hang out with me. And I was looking at these voicemails, and it was just so sad. You can hear in their voice how sad they were. Like it's because these are young kids, right? Because this was 5-6 years ago, right? So I was 13 or 12, and hearing just a young kid like that speaking, and they're like, "Hey, could you please call me back? Like I want to hang out with you. I want to do this." And it's like all this kid stuff. Like I wanted to play this game with you. I wanted to go out in the woods or do some kind of activity, and they're sad because I wasn't calling them back. I had so many friends at the time that I was hanging out with these friends. I had this friend planned for next day. My whole week was filled out with hanging out with people, right? I didn't have a job, right? Because I was a kid. But I was texting my friends. I was like, all right, I got you hooked up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was hanging out with people every day. And I had all these close friends. And it was like, I had an arsenal of like, these are my best friends, my closest friends, and I get along with them. And if I'm in this certain mood, I'll go to this friend, and I know they're going to want to hang out with me. Because back then, I guess I was just more likable than I am now. And then I ended up having to be honest with myself and just see I have bad examples, right? And I don't need to be around those people. And so it was like, my goal originally was, let me have as much fun as possible. Let me have as many people around me. Let me feel popular and validated and motivated by like, I have all these different people I'm hanging out with, right? And all these people that want to hang out with me. And now I'm kind of in an opposite place, and I relied on that so much for validation that now it's like, well, now I feel sad because I got nobody, right? I haven't hung out with anyone in months. And it's like, that was a choice. It's not like this is like I could choose to hang out with people. It's not like there's people I could reach out to people and be like, let's hang, let's do this. Let's do it your way, right? That's how you get to hang out with people, is you become a person for them. And that's what I was doing. I was acting, and it felt good. But then something clicked in my brain, and I thought, maybe I should stop acting, right? I can't just always be this character. I can't always become who they want me to be. At some point, I have to draw the line and say, this is who I'm choosing to be, and it doesn't matter what you think about me. And so that was where pretty much everybody left. And the point of this message is friends who you want to be around, right? So good examples, people who are going to inspire you in the ways that you're pushing towards, You're looking towards, I want to be like that. Let me get those people around me. And then there's people who want you to be around them, and they see you as a good example. And it's very hard to weed out, okay, is this person going to have a bad example on me, right? Even if they want you to be around them. And so we get into this kind of, there's a problem here where, well, I want these good examples, but I'm not there yet, right? I want them to pour into me, but why would they be around me if I'm a bad example to them, right? Like, even if, like, you realize, you come to a realization, like, something's wrong with me. I want to be around those people who have that thing I'm looking for, but you don't, and they don't want to lose it, right? It's not from a point of like them being mean. It's just like they don't want a bad example. They don't want anything dragging them down because they've worked hard to get to that place. They don't want someone dragging them down. And so that's where my headspace was. These people were calling me every single day, and I was like, all right, I had enough of it, bro. And it's like with girls, you know, I'm not relating this to any relationship stuff, but, well, I guess I am. But, you know, with girls, it's like, if you don't have to chase them, you fall out of love, you know? If they're really easy and they're love bombing, that's a huge term. They do that and then they just ghost you. This happens all the time. Every man has experienced this if he's not an incel. That was uncalled for. I don't know why I said that. But it comes to a point where it's like, I don't have to try anymore. There's no point. There's no challenge. I don't have to give anything in this relationship. It's just all, you know, you giving me stuff. And it's like, but even then it's like, I have to sacrifice my time to be with you. But then it's like, you just keep wanting me to hang out with you, but I'm not getting anything from this. So there's kind of two different variations of that, but it's just this place where you're like, okay, you really want to be my friend, but I don't want to be your friend. And it's like, it's hard to admit that, right? Especially me being a Christian, and we should love everybody, right? And show kindness the best that we can. But loving everybody and having everyone be your close friend is not the same thing. The Bible teaches us that we should love everyone, but nowhere does it say we have to be friends with everyone, right? And let them just be our close friends. Because those people are going to pour into you, and you are going to have faith in those people and trust them that when something bad happens to you, you can turn to them. So there's no point of having a friend who you can't turn to, whether that makes you feel validated or not. That's not the importance. And you have to break that habit of feeling like, I need this validation so I can feel good about myself. And I need a lot of friends, so then I'll feel like I'm complete. You don't need all those friends, bro. You don't. Okay? And I came to this place where I was looking through these voicemails today, and it just hurt. It was a deep guilt. And like, I just felt so sad because I was hearing these messages from these people, and they're like, you know, they're really alone, and they're searching so much. They're trying so hard to be my friend. And it's just thousands of voicemails from them, basically saying the same thing or a variation of the same thing, like, hey, please call me back. I never called them back. And these weren't like telemarketers. These were people who I knew in real life, who I'd hung out with multiple times in the past, who I knew from school, who I knew from church, people who I genuinely knew and interacted with in person. And so these people knew me on a personal level, my likes and my dislikes, my interests. And they wanted to see more. They wanted to know the peace that I had, right? I had this happiness that was overflowing. I was so happy back then when I was a kid. And it was because I had all these friends. I had all this validation because deep inside, I was changing who I was for them. I was putting on a mask, and it worked amazingly. I was amazing at it. I had changed myself for each person. I was acting a different way for each person, right? And of course, there was always this core that was me, you know, it was me. But eventually I had to break, and I had to stop saying, I'm just going to act like I'm happy, even if I'm not. And then people stopped liking me because that's what they were here for. They wanted to hang out with me because they wanted the happiness that I had. And so when I stopped pretending I was happy and I started realizing I'm not actually happy. There's problems in my life. There's things that I aspire for that I can't get, and I'm not getting any closer to them. I'm just sitting here stagnantly. Yes, I'm getting validation. Yes, I feel happy. Yes, it's like it's good to have a bunch of friends, but it's like, what is more important? I felt like there was something more important, and there was. I had no relationship with God at that point. And I could never tell anyone no. I just couldn't. I couldn't tell anyone no. And that's why these people kept calling, because I never told them, I don't want to be your friend, okay? I don't want to hang out with you. Stop calling me. Because I liked it. I liked to feel like I was wanted. Because I was, right? But I didn't think about them. I didn't think about them, right? I didn't want to hurt their feelings and say no. And say, stop calling me. Even if that was what I was thinking at the time. But sometimes we have to set aside being validated, set aside feeling like you're popular and feeling like you're cool. Put on a serious face, put on your suit and tie, and do the business that needs to be done. You are a man and you need to actually take action sometimes. Not just feel liked and loved by everybody, but to take action and do what needs to be done for the betterment, not just of you, not just of your friends, but for everybody. Even the people who you don't like. You need to still care about them. You need to still think about what is going to harm them or do them good. And I didn't do that with these people who had been calling me and calling me and calling me. And they're like, I want to hang out. I want to hang out. And it's like, I feel so sad because they kept trying. If it was one voicemail, I wouldn't feel sad. If it was one voicemail and they were like, hey, could you hang out? I would feel a little bit sad, right? That we just never hung out after that and I never called them back. But they left about 100 each of these people. And I never cared. I never cared. I had so much like different validation from other places. I had so many other people that just loved me. And it was like, I just don't care about this other person. Right? I just cared about myself. Even if I was putting on this mask that I care about everybody else. And I want everybody else to be happy. I want to make jokes so all of you guys are happy. No, when I make jokes, it makes me happy. Because I hear people laughing and I'm like, that's where my value comes from. No, it's not. Your value comes from the Lord. He has created you in his image, and that is where your value comes from. It's not from other people. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. Because when you come to a point where you're going to be honest with yourself and you're not going to lie to other people, people won't like you. They're not going to like you for who you truly are. And that doesn't mean you should hide yourself. It means you should stop caring what other people think about you. Right? It doesn't mean not be yourself. It means don't care what they think of yourself. Right? You'll find somebody eventually who appreciates who you are. Or you won't. But it doesn't matter. Right? That validation, that is not the same true, real happiness that can be found in Christ. That can be found in being genuine and honest. If you were honest and somebody doesn't love you, and then you feel like you have to bury that and put on a mask and be like, okay, I'll just do all these things that, I don't feel like I actually want to do these things, but I'm going to do them just so this person loves me. Get out of that relationship, bro. Get out of that relationship or that friendship, whatever that is. If you are having to put on a mask so that you feel like somebody accepts you and cares about you, stop caring if they accept you. Stop listening to what they want you to do. If they're saying you have to do this or I'm going to do this in a negative connotation, just leave them, okay? Just cut them off. Just say, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. If you have a problem with that, take a hike, all right? And this has been a really serious concept for me, right? For a couple years, for a few years now, right? And I just really want to share this idea with other people. I really want to get this across to other people because it's so important. And I see so many people in my life, old friends or people that I've been really close with and talked to on a personal level. And I see them trying to please others in everything that they do. And it just hurts me to see that because I know that doesn't lead anywhere. And I feel like in that way, I have a responsibility and an obligation to help them and tell them this isn't where you find your purpose at. It's just important to remember your value does not come from the people around you, right? Your value is innate. Okay. And God's word tells you what to do in life to find fulfillment, to feel fulfilled. There's things that will make you feel fulfilled on a very shallow level for a very short period of time. And then they start fading away and you keep clinging tighter and you dig deeper, dig your grave deeper and deeper, deeper in this hole. And then you get to the bottom and realize you hit rock bottom. There's no deeper to dig. You've buried yourself in this hole of thinking that validation is where all of your value comes from. How about don't dig into any of that, even if it looks shiny? Don't dig into it, bro. Stay where you are and don't let other people drag you down with them. It doesn't matter what people think of you. It doesn't matter if people hate you. If people spit on you and mock you and people reject you and you feel like nobody is there for you, nobody cares about you, you can't trust nobody. Okay, that's fine. Why do you care? It doesn't matter. You don't need them. Okay? If they don't love you, regardless of things that you've done, who cares? Right? They're not a friend. If you have done something, even if it's bad, even if you genuinely have made a mistake and slipped up and you accept that and you're like, I realize that I've done this, and apologize to them and they still don't accept you for that, or you speak a true how you feel about something and they reject you because of your opinion and how you feel, they're not a true friend. Get rid of them, bro. It does not matter what they think. So stop thinking that what they say is going to have to judge and just change your life course. Your life course does not depend on nobody else. Unless you're in a family and you're a husband and you're a father, then yes, take into account the good of your family, the good of all the people that your choices are going to affect. But if it's not going to affect them negatively and they're still rejecting you for it, it does not matter. Gang, do not care about what they say. Genuinely don't care. I feel like there's a lot of fulfillment to be found when you just give up on a lot of different things. When you just give up and you just let go of so many things. There's a lot of fulfillment to be found. And so my prayer is that anybody who's watching this right now, that they find that as well. And that you get your value and your fulfillment from the right places, from things that last. Life is hard, bro. But we're all going through it. Right? You're not alone. We're all going through it. One day at a time, one step at a time, one lesson at a time. We're just learning, right? But I believe, I have faith that there's a bright future, not just for me, but for everybody, right? Everybody who's going to pursue it, I believe that God will have grace on them and he will give that to them. I don't even deserve it, but I have faith that it's possible. Beautiful sunny day out here, bro. Sun just shining. Absolutely fabulous. Anyway, thanks for watching, bro. Peace out.